All right, good afternoon. I am seeing only a couple people here on YouTube. I am also on TikTok Live. I've been doing a dual cast at this point because I have a pretty small group here on YouTube. So I have more comments to interact with on my TikTok Live feed. So, how is everybody doing today? What do you want to talk about? Obviously, there's endless amounts of things going on right now in the world. What's up, Chicago? As soon as I see a few folks like actually comment on YouTube, you'll see me kind of respond a little bit more. But until then, I'm just going to kind of react with my peeps on YouTube on TikTok that are usually a little more rambunctious to interact. What's up, New Jersey? What's up, Indiana? Which side do you probably here, Mark, is fine because as of right now I have 9 people on YouTube and nobody's even commenting. So you're probably better used here on TikTok. No, I already exercised. I went to the gym. I don't simulcast my gym experience. I only do that when I'm doing cardio at home. And I actually did that and did a dual cast on YouTube. And you guys on TikTok, you get it. You've seen me do it a million times. But on YouTube, it people didn't get it. They just it and it even it uploads to my channel. And I was reading some of the comments and they were like, "This is bizarre. This is weird." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't get what I do. I like to just kill two birds with one stone. I don't have a fitness channel. However, if I motivate somebody to get fit, fantastic. I'm just time managing." So that's really the reason that I generally do the chats while I'm exercising. What's up? What's up? Stretch. You enjoy it? Yeah. Some people do. Some people think it's motivating. Other people think it's bizarre. So you know what? You can please some of the people some of the time, but you're never going to please all the people all the time. I am on YouTube called Real American Variety. Relatively easy to find now. I used to be a little bit difficult to find because I just wasn't relative, but I am building that platform. So, what's up, Tennessee? Kevin from Tennessee. I've missed you. You've missed me. Well, I haven't gone anywhere, so I'm not sure why you've missed me. I'm most likely being suppressed from you or For You page for whatever reason. I thought it was obvious. Thought what was obvious? Daisy, welcome. I apologize if I'm kind of interacting a little bit more with my TikTok crew. I usually have a bigger crowd in there. So there's lots of comments. I generally like to respond to comments. You guys kind of inspire what I talk about. But the YouTube group is always kind of smaller and they don't talk as much. So I'm like, okay, I could just go off on what I want to talk about, news related. But it's actually more fun for me to actually respond to comments and involve you all in my chat here. Tap the screen for support. Yeah, I don't think that is something that you can do on YouTube. However, on TikTok, if you guys can tap the screen, on YouTube, you can, I guess, share the live. There is something that you can click that does help boost my algorithm and shoot me out there to folks. But this is a bizarre time. 1:54 in the afternoon is a bizarre time to go live on YouTube. Whereas on TikTok, that usually is a decent time for me. So happy Friday. Is it Friday? Why did I think it was Thursday? I think it's Thursday, isn't it? What pants am I wearing? Just my workout pants. I'm still in my workout gear. Yeah, I thought it was Thursday, but someone said happy Friday, and I'm like, don't screw with me. I forget what day it is a lot, or I'll forget and leave my old caption up, and people will be like, it's not Monday, and I'm like, oh, I didn't change the caption. When I saw you, I dropped mine. I don't. Oh, you want me to pay for your iPhone? What's up, Maine? Peeps from Maine. I don't use any social media, so I would only see you here or preferably on Rumble. I am on Rumble, and everything I upload to YouTube goes over to my Rumble account as well. It's just that I don't understand Rumble whatsoever. I don't get the algorithm, and I have like very, very few followers. I think a lot of Rumble is word of mouth, so I haven't built that up quite yet. What's up, Arkansas? So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Some of them are actually kind of cultural, which I think is interesting because I generally don't care about like movie stars or anything that goes on in their world. But I really wanted to talk about this specific thing because I used to be an extreme Garth Brooks fan when I was a kid or when I was in high school. It was the second concert I ever went to. He grabbed my hand. I thought it was the best thing. I told the story for years. Absolutely loved him. Well, now that I've gotten older and I'm seeing he's definitely like really pushing this liberal agenda a bit, he is opening a new bar in Nashville called Friends in Low Places. And he called everybody that is boycotting Bud Light assholes. So basically, he probably alienated half of his base or the people that support him. And now he's trying to walk that back and try to say he's all about diversity and inclusion and blah, blah, blah. But I think he kind of shot himself in the foot because a lot of people that love country music, for the most part, are probably conservative. So I don't know. You need to shave. Why do I need to shave? I'm pretty clean shaven. I've not gone anywhere. They've just probably suppressed me from your For You page. I promise. I'm always posting. I don't go live quite as often as I used to, but I still go live quite often. Didn't know that. Thanks. We'll subscribe now. Yes. Thank you, Jody. Yeah. Anyone who wants to help me build my Rumble account, I like your tan. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I live in Florida and I definitely, one of the things that I probably should take better care of is putting sunscreen on, and I don't so much, other than my face. I try to use sunscreen on my face now. And tell the best jokes. Thank you. Yeah, my jokes don't do as well anymore. Good afternoon, Georgia. You should take better care of your brain. I do lots of cognitive things for my brain. My brain's just fine. But you think that an insult or saying because I probably think differently than you, that I must be stupid or have no brain or don't treat my brain well. But I just looked at that as if I don't look at the opposition or people who think differently than me as they're stupid. They just simply think differently than me. And when you have to throw an insult at someone because they think differently than you, then you've already just proved that you don't even stand on a firm foundation of what you even believe at that point. You've got to throw insults because you can't even handle opposition. And that's very sad, actually. What's my favorite movie or TV show? My favorite movie is called Almost Famous. It's been my favorite movie since my 20s, where I probably watched it so many times I can recite every single line in it. I don't know that it's an extremely popular movie, so if you haven't heard of it, it's basically the story of Cameron Crowe, who was a journalist for Rolling Stone when he was really, really way too young to even be doing it. So, yeah, it was my favorite movie all through my 20s. I was definitely very liberal, I would say, until probably 10 years ago, where I actually got sober, got married, became a Christian. So obviously, a lot of the things that I did and subscribed to when I was younger were no longer part of my life at that point. So, did you hear the most heinous criminal in Canada's history got moved to medium security? I did not hear that. I don't know a lot about Canadian politics. I don't follow a lot. I have a few people that I follow on social media that keep me a little up to date with what's going on there because I kind of feel like we're only a few steps behind. And I feel like Joe Biden loves everything that Trudeau is doing. So I will plug a movie though that I just saw. And if you have not watched this movie, you guys need to go watch Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. It was fantastic. Jake Gyllenhaal, I've always liked him as an actor anyway, but it's all about I'm going to space on the name of the actual soldier. I think it was like Kinley or something like that, and his interpreter, and they were in Afghanistan. And basically, their whole like journey, this interpreter carried him, I don't know how many miles to safety, and then it just kind of goes and like I don't want to spoil the whole thing. Go watch it. It's amazing, especially given the botched Afghanistan withdrawal that we had. And now we have all these interpreters over there that we didn't get out, and they're either in hiding, have been killed. It just makes it even more hit home. Oh my God. Hey, Stacy's mom. Hey. Thanks, Mike Nichols on YouTube. I appreciate you. I have a very small audience on YouTube. So I apologize if I'm paying a little more attention to my TikTok group. It tends to be a little bit larger. That's why I'm dual simulcasting at this time, because it makes the flow of conversation go a little bit easier for me, because I like to respond to comments. And I have noticed that on YouTube, y'all are pretty quiet. So that is the reason for it. T-Panzone, what up, my friend? Good to see you as usual. I'm here, wanted to say hi. Hi, Terry. You're always on point. Well, thank you. I'm probably not always on point, but because you and I think alike, we probably, it seems like I'm sure I make mistakes and I have so much to learn. So I'm never trying to claim that I am an expert on anything. I'm just a normal human being navigating this crazy few years. My eyes were opened in 2020. And I'm just talking to everybody about it. So I'm by no means trying to call myself a scientist. I am not a political scholar. I'm not any of these things that supposedly you have to have an education and have an opinion on. I'm just a normal human being navigating what feels pretty messed up, like all of you. So maybe we can all connect and chat about it. What's up, Ohio? Just tell me. No, you're good, Mark. Stay right there. There's just not enough going. I have literally 9 people in my chat. You're good. Just stay in TikTok. How's my neighbor boy, Chad? Oh, Chad. He's not my neighbor anymore because we moved, but he is still my landscaper. So I do see him from time to time. Big fan. Thank you. Thank you. You mean you're a real American patriot? Yes, with common sense, with absolutely no education in politics or no anything. I am just a human being who's just calling it the way I see it. And I could be wrong. All of this is my opinion. Do I stream? I'm streaming currently at this exact moment on YouTube as well. So that I'm doing a dual like stream, because right now in YouTube I'm just trying to grow my account, so it's still a pretty small audience on YouTube. Hi, Roy. What's up, Ireland? She is the defection of common sense again. Oh, sorry. A normalish young lady. Ever think about running for office? Yes, I have thought about it a ton. I don't think I am educated enough quite yet to be doing that. So I'm not going to be doing that in 24. I would like to work on a campaign and get a little bit of like what it's like to work for someone else, see the ins and outs of the whole thing before I decided to try to do that on my own, because I would want to do grassroots, obviously. And because I don't have any sort of political background, it's going to be really difficult to get the vote, especially where I live in South Florida. I think it would be really difficult. I know that I'm part of my community, conservative Keys group. I live in the Keys, and we're not super happy with Carlos Jimenez and how he's voted on things. So that being said, I just don't think I would get a lot of the Hispanic vote. Let's see. I would vote for you. You're more intelligent than the clowns in office now. Well, I always like to joke and say the one thing that Joe Biden has shown us is that he has shown our children that anyone can be president. So when you always tell your kids growing up, you can be anything you want, you can even be president one day, he has proved that to us. Nothing like American flag inside your home. Yes, I do have an American flag inside my home. Anyone who is opposed to somebody showing the American flag, you're not an American. You're not a patriot. That is the symbol of our country. Do you think our president should be younger? I mean, I'm still Trump 2024. I think he has work left to do. But if I am completely honest, I think that somebody younger would probably, going forward, be what we should shoot for. That doesn't mean I don't want to be an ageist, though. So you can't necessarily put a cap on the age because look at the difference. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are only a few years apart, yet it depends on how quickly you kind of go down. And Joe Biden has kind of shown us that he's going down very, very quickly, whereas Trump doesn't even seem his age. So I'm not for DeSantis, no. I liked what DeSantis was doing in Florida. I am not in the DeSantis for president. Obviously ends up getting the nomination. I'll support him because, I've got to support the conservative nomination, but that is not who I'm hoping will get the nomination. And as long as they do their job, who cares? Exactly. Please zoom out. You look top, whatever. Do you watch the new on the, I don't know what that means. You can support who you want. Love your work. Thank you. Got you on YouTube in Kentucky, like your wisdom and straight talk. When you feel grounded enough, government leadership needs you. I agree, Wayne, and I think we are in this place where we just want regular Joes to be representing us because nobody believes that politicians actually give a shit about us anymore. And I think that so many people are feeling that way that I think we're going to see an uptake of just regular people running in the next election. And then certainly in the midterms again, because I just think that people are done. Nobody believes the swamp is so deep and it's deep on both sides. Let's stop pretending that it's all the corruption lies in the Democratic Party. It's the uniparty, two wings of the same bird, the whole thing. Like half of these people, they act like they hate each other. They're probably having beers together. So that being said, we need some people that are not part of that. And I'm also very pro term limits. I think that the reason that half of these people get corrupt is because they're there too long. They're there long enough to corrupt, to be, dangled like little carrots of money and power in front of them. And then they go in with good intentions and then they're easily corrupted. So if we had term limits of maybe, 4 to 6 years in the House, then you would see less of that corruption. People might actually get out before they have the chance to be corrupt. I cannot stand Lindsey Graham either. Thank you. That is the person that I despise the most, and he's a Republican. So I just think that he is a dirty, dirty snake. At least Democrats, I know where they stand. But when you're in the conservative party calling yourself a conservative and you're like a dirty neocon, like I'm just, no, he is. I blame Lindsey Graham for why we lost the midterms because so many women showed up and did like single issue voting on the whole abortion thing because 2 weeks before the midterms, he comes out and tries to say he's pushing a federal abortion ban. Yeah, thanks for literally destroying the midterms for us, you idiot. He doesn't know which side of he's on whichever side pads his pockets, When did you get married? I've always been married. What?
People from the plate and stuff.
Oh. Do they need me to come out?
No, they just moved up myself. I just let you know.
Oh. Sorry, everyone. Okay, really.
I just wanted to let you know in case you wanted to see them.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know they were said they were sending it to me. We need a new government. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So true. Do you feel that it would be better to go back to a constitutional government and get rid of the left and right sides? I mean, I don't know enough about how it works, to be perfectly honest. I kind of believe that a lot of people are like, we need to do away with the two, the left and the right. But I think we need balance. I think that there's a reason that there are two sides. It keeps us balanced. I just think we need to do away with the corruption. I think that there should be term limits for both the Senate and the House so that we keep some of the corruption out. But yeah. Well, I mean, you want to hope that everybody cares about the Constitution and that's why they're doing this, but that isn't always the case, it seems. Do I like Robert Kennedy Jr.? Well, I'm not a Democrat, so it's not like I'm, going to vote for him by any stretch. But as far as Democratic people that are trying to jump in the race, I like him a heck of a lot more than Joe Biden. Do you feel that it would be better to go back to a constitutional government and get? Oh, I already read that one. Sorry about that. Continuing in place. I don't see us voting our way out of this. Yeah, but I'm a firm believer that we can't be spreading this. I don't believe my vote counts, so I'm not going to vote. We need to go vote anyway. We need to get out there. We need to actually beat them at their own game. So we need to start playing the game better. There are a lot of states where ballot harvesting is actually legal, and that's why they're doing so well in those areas. We need to be playing those games, like beating them at their own game. I am very pro Second Amendment. And if everyone turns out and we beat them to a place that I mean, I guess I'm finally allowed to say without worrying about repercussion that there were shenanigans in the 2020 election. But we need to beat them so badly that that's not possible. So T sucks. I just think that that's a really negative way to look at it. It's not that I disagree with you that that's the way it seems. However, to not vote is not the answer. It was the most secure election ever in history. Yeah, some people said that. That's for sure. I can agree with that. Exactly, Mike. I don't even want to go into that topic. I will go into that topic, but it's the same, thing a lot of people that in the conservative party tend to say, and they say that that's always what we say, but it's true. A criminal is going to find their way to get their hands on it regardless. You look at the cities that have the most gun violence have the strictest gun laws. So it's like, I don't know. I am doing YouTube too. That's why I'm looking there, then I'm looking here, then I'm looking there. I'm dual casting right now. Oh, I'm clueless, Johnny says. Honestly concerned about I still know Biden did not. Yeah. I don't have to have qualifications to have an opinion. I can look up statistics on the internet like everybody else. The thing that drives me crazy is that people always go, "Oh, what qualifications do you have to be talking about this?" No more than you do on things you probably talk about every single day. Like people have opinions on things every single day that they don't probably have an education in. I'm just talking about it as a normal human being that lives in this country and is going to talk about it across the table with my husband or my family or what have you. Everybody talks about things that they don't have an education in. We all have opinions on it. So I'm just coming online and I'm talking about it. I've not tried to say one time that I'm an expert in any of these fields. I'm not stating anything as facts. I only ever say I'm giving my opinion. North Americans are far beyond saving anymore. You're getting to them, and that's why they say it. Exactly. Your opinion is wrong. Well, my opinion is my opinion. Your opinion is that my opinion is wrong. And you're allowed to have that. That's the thing. I don't fear opposition. I don't care if someone comes at me with an oppositional opinion, because I stand firm on what I believe. And that is that. So whether you agree with me or not, I don't need your validation. That's the problem. We have this whole extreme group of people that are saying, I can't take opposition, so I'm going to have you censored and shut up. I'm going to call words violence. I'm going to do all these things so that you can't give your opinion, because I simply can't handle an opposition. And that's the problem. We used to live in a country where you were free to say and disagree with opinions, and that is coming to an end. Boulder, Colorado. There are strict gun laws on the books before the shooting, blah, blah, blah. The shooter was mentally ill and decided to ignore the assault. Weird, huh? Exactly. Your qualification is being an intelligent American and not closed-minded. Exactly, Mike. Thank you. Hello from your... Oh, what's up, Hoyne? Good to see you as always. It's just soft people can't handle. Exactly. Well, in that we live in a world of soft people, especially the younger generations are very, very soft. Like, I'm Gen X. Gen X, we don't give a shit. We don't need your validation. I don't need you to agree with me. Whether you agree with me or not doesn't change my mind. I'm not trying to be part of any group. I'm not part of cliques. Like, I just don't care. Like, I don't care if people like or dislike me. It doesn't matter to me. It took me a long time to get there. However, that's where I lay at this point. So whether you agree with my opinion or not has absolutely no like bearings on me. Gen X does rock. Gen X is like the last strong, like, you know, we had to basically raise ourselves. So that's the best part about turning 40. Exactly. I think you finally come to this place of wisdom where you're like, I don't need the validation of people. So it's not hurting your feelings. No. I get so much negativity and hate on TikTok. I am so like it, I'm over anything hurting my feelings that some stranger online says to me. If my husband walked in here and said something that was like completely like a jerk comment, that would hurt my feelings, because I care what he thinks of me. I care how he treats me. I don't care what random people on TikTok or YouTube want to say negative to me. Like, if I needed your validation, then I would be a weak person. Got some Gen X in the house on the YouTube. Cities with strict gun laws have the most violence. That's categorically untrue. I mean, I'd love to see whatever statistic you're talking about, but generally speaking, New York, Chicago, a lot of these cities, definitely some places in California that have a large amount of crime, also have very strict gun laws. What part of SD rocks? I don't know what that means. Nope, that's not true. All right. Well, you know what? I'll do some research. But the research that I've done and the statistics that I've seen prove that to be correct, generally speaking, because it's not like I'm just saying it to say it. Let's see. Chicago is one. Yeah, I thought so. The 10 most unsafe cities. Let's see. I know research is not just Google. He needs to look at the facts. You're right, they're wrong. I mean, but here's the honest truth, guys. I'm going to most likely find something I'm going to find many articles that are going to back up what I'm saying, but he could probably search and find just as many articles to back up what he says. That's the internet. The internet is going to, and because Google basically is going to show him something different than it's going to show me based on what we both tend to search. Like you could be in the same room with someone, let's say I was in the same room with someone who's very liberal, and we were to search the same exact thing, because we have different views and Google has studied what we look at and what we search, and Google already knows how we think. It's going to show them different articles than it's going to show me, and then we're both going to argue, bitch, and fight about our side, because we will still believe that we are right because of what Google is going to show us. Terry, I actually don't disagree with that. I really believe that I mean, but the point is, in America, everybody has the right to vote. It doesn't matter your own IQ. So I don't generally want to like, but I don't disagree with you. But as far as the Constitution goes, that actually is not a positive thing. Chat GPT is written with a liberal bias, so Chat GPT is not going to give me a correct answer. I have messed with Chat GPT so much, and then I've called it out on being biased, and then it literally will apologize and say you're true, or I mean you're correct. I apologize. I will try to, you know, be less biased next time. It's supposed tries to say that it doesn't do things with a bias, but because the people that programmed it with a bias, it's going to have a bias. Where's the source for that? I've been using it and I've not had that experience. You can just, I did it by literally asking it silly little things, like asking it for something, tell me something. I said, tell me all of Donald Trump's positive policies. And it would give his list of policies, but then like say some really negative comments in the fact that it was telling me his policies. I was like, I didn't ask for negative comments on the policies. I simply asked for the policies. Why are you giving me negative comments? It's as if you're giving it to me with a bias. And then it would apologize essentially for giving me, no, factual data doesn't require an opinion. It would add something to the end of something that was an opinion that somebody must have put in there. All right. You people are obviously liberal, so obviously you're eating up Chat GPT. And Chat GPT is, it can be very dangerous, especially for the indoctrination of kids that are using it all to write term papers and such. They're only going to see one side. Yeah, just try messing with it, JT. That's what I do. Like even silly things, like I asked it, tell me a joke about Donald Trump, and it would. And then I would say, tell me a joke about Joe Biden, and it would say, I'm sorry, as a chat whatever bot, I cannot say anything that would be offensive to any party. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I just asked you to tell me a joke about Donald Trump, and you did. So it's like you could literally call it out on what it just did, and then it will just apologize. The Gateway Pundit is great. The Gateway Pundit is great news. I actually, one of the guys that is one of the Gateway Pundit journalists, I've been at a few things that he's been at. While I went to Reawaken America, I just went to Miami. I saw him there. He had come and like done a little, we had this person named Ivan come who's doing a lot of stuff with the January 6th. And he came and he I can't remember his name. I think it's Mike something. Really great dude. Chat GPT is the AI that everybody's talking about. How am I feeling about the arrest? I mean, I think it's absolutely just a politicization of this is Joe Biden trying to eliminate his opposition. That's what I believe to be true. I mean, I don't think it's going to hold, especially the Espionage Act. That was never even meant for presidents. And I think their best case, because I've heard a bunch of different people give a bunch of different narratives, and at this point, they're going to use like the Clinton sock drawer kind of thing, because basically he said it doesn't matter what a president takes. They can come, like, they're the president. And if he uses that case, which is what got Bill Clinton out of taking all of the tapes that he took, it's pretty similar in the sense that he took these things, he declassified them. They're saying that he didn't give them back. Like, I get the whole thing. He could have, like, basically, it might not have happened had he just given them back. But essentially, what Bill Clinton said is, I don't have to give them back. I'm the president. Joe is just a face. He's just the fall guy. He's just a politician that's just been a liar since the beginning. And he wanted to be president so bad, he was willing to sign his name on the dotted line in blood to be president, knowing he's going to be the fall guy for all of this crap. Good luck with that argument. I mean, that's not the only argument. They have a lot of, yes, he can. JT, I don't know why you guys are saying that. A president can declassify it, the fact that you guys are still trying to spout that a president can't declassify. Yes, they can. Rachel Maddow even agreed it's political. Wow. If Rachel yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people on the liberal side that are actually saying this is going to hurt them. I mean, every time they do this, he goes up in the polls, because even people in the middle are starting to see that this is a political witch hunt, and they're starting to go, why do they hate him so much? It's not just about his mean tweets. She didn't stop lying. Because you disagree with how I feel about this doesn't mean I'm lying. I'm giving my opinion on what I believe to be true. So it's not a lie. I'm not lying about anything. I'm giving my opinion. You just disagree with my opinion, and that's okay. Trump should have kept the papers in his garage. Yeah, exactly. See, that's the other thing that I find baffling is, like, Joe Biden had stuff from when he was a senator that he never should have even been able to get out of the dang skiff. Like, nobody understands how he even got him out of there. What, did he shove him in his pants or something? But then also, he was vice president. He certainly can't declassify anything. So unless Barack Obama comes out and says, I declassified him for him, which I doubt he's going to do, like, if they don't charge him as well, this is definitely going to show that it's just a two-tiered system of justice. You're based. I don't even know what based means. I know that's a Gen Z term that everybody uses. I think it means positive, but I don't even understand it. What about Pence? I don't know. Like, yeah, Pence had some too. Nobody cares about that. Like, everybody's whole thing is they're like, oh, well, the second they found out that they had them, they gave them back. The problem was that Trump didn't give him. He was cooperating with NARA, so the whole, like, raid in Mar-a-Lago happened before the cooperation of whatever he was doing happened. So as far as he was concerned, he was cooperating with them, and then they raided him anyway. You think I'm delusional, but maybe you are. See, that's the thing. When you sit on different sides of the aisle, we both look at each other as they're delusional. Like, you're clearly not seeing the absolute truth about Hillary and Bill Clinton, who both did something very, very similar, and they didn't get in trouble. But you refuse to look at that. You only see, I hate the orange man. He's bad. He said mean things. And my poor little emotional heart just simply can't handle him being the president again, because I'm just going to fall apart. Trump should have kept yeah, I'm sorry, I already read that one. He refused multiple times. But you guys, like, this, half of this stuff that you're saying is probably what you're hearing from CNN. So I'm not going to argue with you that you guys all believe all of these things, but I would generally say maybe, like, jump outside your echo chamber and start, like, searching some other things, like constitutionally, even look at, like, what a president is actually allowed to do, because people are saying that he can't declassify these things, and that is simply untrue. Like, if we were going to actually go after all these presidents for Espionage Act, we would have to go after almost every single one. Guaranteed they all have documents that they didn't, like, report, you know? The only reason that people are going after Trump is because he's Trump. I don't believe we will ever see Biden punished because of how high up I don't think we're going to see any of them punished. Like, I honestly don't think that Donald Trump's going to go to prison. And I think that people that say he is are absolutely absurd. But I don't think Biden's going to prison. I don't think Hunter's going to go to prison. When you are that level of elite, you do not go to prison. All you spout is GOP BS. Listen to your own experts. Honestly, you come nuclear documents being unclassified. I don't even know exactly which nuclear documents you're referring to when we are able to actually see what all of these things are, or maybe when this case actually comes to term. We don't know exactly what they are. We all saw a photo that was clearly leaked purposely, spilled out, like that's how he was keeping these documents. Nobody believes that's true. Well, clearly the people in this chat do, because you're, watching CNN. Is your family mostly conservative? I would say no. My mom and my brother are, but I wasn't raised with any politics at all whatsoever. And like, I didn't even care about politics until 3 years ago. 2020 is when I started even giving a crap about any of this bull crap. I lived in a bubble for my entire, 20s and 30s, thinking that none of it mattered. And like purposely trying to avoid ever even talking about it, because I had a job that I was told, you do not talk about politics, you do not talk about sexual orientation, and you do not talk about religion. Those are the three polarizing topics that could alienate your client. So I just lived in this bubble and I didn't talk about it. And then 2020, where I almost lost my businesses, they tried to take our businesses away, lock us down for that, pandemic. And I said, something is not right here. This doesn't smell right. And they locked me down. I had nothing else to do except get educated. Joseph, I appreciate your opinion. Whether you agree with me or think I'm completely delusional does not matter to me. I guess I just look at it like, why would you consistently stay in the chat just to write negative things? Like, I just don't understand people like that. Like, if someone thinks, oh my God, this girl is stupid, I don't like anything she's saying, I would simply scroll out of the live. I would probably go find someone who is spouting something that maybe I enjoyed watching. But you stay in here and you just write negative comments. So, which leads me to believe you're either getting paid to be a negative jerk, you're a bot, or you're a glutton for punishment. I don't know what to tell you. It just never, like, trolls plague me. You're just looking for some sort of you're eliciting a response, right? Do I think he'll be arrested? I mean, that's what the indictment was. They didn't arrest him. He's a president, so it's not like he did a perp walk or was put in handcuffs or anything of that nature. We just had, what's his name, the Marine that choked out the guy on the subway, and he had to go in and out in cuffs. I mean, I guess it's different. Obviously, that was whatever they're trying to call a second degree manslaughter charge. Penny, yeah, but it's just different when you're a president. Is he innocent? No, he actually took the documents. It's just the fact that because he's a president, he's allowed to have them. Many other presidents have taken documents too, and they haven't been brought to trial. So what do I think is going to happen? I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, honestly, he's probably going to just keep campaigning, and God forbid he actually gets indicted. I mean, gets put in prison. Maybe he'll just pardon himself if he ends up winning. Like, there's a lot of people that are out there saying he should run on pardoning himself. Everybody knows it's a wish hunt. I mean, the good thing is at least they're trying it in Florida. So I believe the judge is actually appointed by Trump, so that's positive. But I did hear today that there's something else about he had them and another place that they could pull it out and like try him in Jersey as well, which he wouldn't get the same type of treatment. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how we're seeing that it's a two-tiered system of justice because Joe Biden didn't even have the right to take any documents at all whatsoever, and nothing's happening to him. Yeah, they'll probably pull out the Georgia thing a little closer to the election. Do I agree with pulling books in libraries if they have inappropriate content for the age that the library is for? I think that these books should basically be rated like we have ratings for movies, right? So nobody argues that a rated R movie is not appropriate for a kid, and that if, for God forbid, like a parent wanted to take them, they can take them to a rated R movie because the parent is there. They're showing it's okay with me. So I don't think books should be in these elementary libraries that are inappropriate for elementary age students. They should start putting ratings on books and they should go in the appropriate libraries. I don't really understand why that's such a bizarre thing. There's some books in some of these libraries that are highly inappropriate for their age. Well, Deborah, that's the whole point of taking things back to the state level. And I think that, like, when you look at the abortion issue, like, everybody's acting like that was such a big deal. It just took it out of the federal level and it goes back to the state level. So if you want to live somewhere where that's not illegal, move to a state where it's not illegal. And if everyone's like, oh my God, some people can't afford to move, I don't know. That's what y'all say when it's like, people were complaining about gas. It's like, oh, go buy an electric car, right? Like, yeah, because some people can just afford to go out and buy an electric car. But that was your argument. That was the left's argument. Or the same thing they say about the 2A, like, oh well, if you're in California and you want one, you're gonna have to move to a red state where you can have one. You don't like it? Fucking move. I don't know. I like Tulsi Gabbard. She says a lot of things that I totally agree with. I love that she put forth, like, I feel like my party left me, and that's why I'm leaving the Democratic Party. She went to just an independent. She's not by no means calling herself conservative. Although I do feel like she has a lot of conservative values, but she definitely has some things that are a little bit more, um, you know, liberal as well. I don't know. They like to put me on the For You page of people that are going to disagree with me, I think. How do they think those electric cars are charged? I know. I saw this really hilarious meme that was like this portable charging station for an electric car that was running on gas. And like these people, it's like they have no idea that like what the way that they charge their car actually goes back to the grid, which is powered by, fossil fuels. So, and then nobody even talks about the fact that these batteries are so much worse for the environment. There's no way to discard them. The actual like mining for all the things to, and then getting them from where they're doing that to whichever country is a higher carbon footprint than they're actually saying that they're saving by going electric. Besides the fact that the electrical grid in our country cannot even support it. Look at California right now. It's when we get to, like, to the middle of summer where they have their highest temperatures, you're going to have to decide, okay, do I use my AC today or do I charge my damn car? Like, no, thank you. I'm all set. And besides the fact that, like, if we were at a place where, like, you could go into a charging station and charge a car in 5 minutes, that would be one thing. But you have to sit there for an hour to charge your frigging car. Like, who has time for that when you're on a road trip? Nobody does. You walk into a gas station, you fill your car in like 5 to 6 minutes, and then you're out of there. Like, it's just nothing about like these battery powered cars is convenient in any way, shape, or form. High speed rail is the answer. Now you're I don't have to be a scientist to have an opinion on things. I love that that's where you guys always go. It's literally appalling. Like you're sitting there, it's like people have opinions on things all day long that they don't have an education in. I have common sense. I read a lot. I'm not speaking on something that I know nothing about, but I'm not saying I'm an expert in the field either. No, I no longer do bodybuilding. I still just try to stay healthy, but I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder anymore just because I didn't want to be so jacked anymore. You can have an opinion, but if it's a bad one, you'll hear about it. Well, the thing is, it's my opinion. I don't need your validation. See, that's the difference between me and some of these people in here is they think that they can write their trolling or mean comments and it's going to change what I believe or what I think, or they're somehow going to hurt my. I don't care. I don't care what random folk on the internet, if they disagree with me or think that I'm idiot or I'm uneducated. I don't need your validation. What parts do you favor in the Democratic Party? I don't really favor anything in the Democratic Party. I'm not, I actually like to go to other like liberal lives and listen to other people that I find really, really smart, even though I disagree with them. I think they're smart and I like hearing what they're saying and their side of things. So I don't live in an echo chamber. I just don't go there and have my opinion changed because I stand on a firm foundation of what I believe. I believe the climate change agenda is definitely just a fear mongering tactic. And I know all this electric car, battery powered bull crap is furthering that fear mongering agenda. And I'm just not going to feed into that. Ever listened to, I've listened to her a little bit. Yeah. It's all capitalist propaganda. Well, that's a new one. Generally, the left is not pro capitalism and certainly wouldn't call the green agenda a capitalist agenda. But instead of politics, what's your favorite music group? I don't really have necessarily a favorite music group anymore. I do listen to music. I don't know a lot of new music, to be perfectly honest. I listen to mostly country music. I don't know who my favorite is, though. I'm to a place in my life where I just don't elevate people that sing or do movies or anything like that because I think there's a whole lot of corruption in Hollywood in the music industry as well. So I probably couldn't even name some of the new people that I actually like their songs. I probably couldn't even name who sings them. I just maybe like I put the radio on sometimes when I'm in the car, but I wouldn't even know who's singing anymore. I find today's country music laughable. Yeah, it doesn't seem like country, it's just pop. I do not have kids. Nope. I don't think Joe Biden actually is. I think that he is just the people that are pulling his strings are moving our country toward that. Like I always say this, like, and I firmly believe this as well that he is an old man, and I don't believe he even believes in the things that he says. Like we all know when we were like kids and you were talking to your grandparents and your grandparents like told you they thought that the newest generations and the things that they thought were absolutely crazy. Like I don't believe that this 80 something year old 81-year-old man or whatever age he is really believes half the stuff he's spouting. He just knows he's got to toe the line for the people pulling the strings. I'm sorry, I don't believe Nancy Pelosi believes half the crap that she says either. I have a dog, he's a mutt. Regardless of political parties, look at actual data from scientists around the world. I have. And when you look at especially when it comes to climate change, the scientists that get pushed are the scientists that took money as grants to get pushed. The people that are pushing that is saying, you've got to say what we want you to say or you don't get this money. That's why I don't believe all these, the ones that they tout as the the climate change scientists, they took money from people to say a specific thing. There's just as many scientists out there debunking the entire thing, but they didn't take any money from the people. So their opinion is going to be labeled a conspiracy theory. There was actually an amazing, which I've played this on my live a million times, but it was the person who was actually the original person that started the Weather Channel, and he was on CNN with Don Lemon, I think, and he in the middle of it was just like climate change is complete bull crap, and he said exactly what I just said, that the scientists that are promoted are the scientists that took money to say what the government wants them to say. And he said this on CNN, and Don Lemon was not ready for this, and everybody's like, that isn't really true. And then I've played it on my live. Unfortunately right now I'm on anything that I could play it for you, but it's really easy to look up. If we go, whatever. See, this is the difference between me and most of the people in this chat. I'm not going to, because you guys believe climate change, I don't think you're idiots. I think that you've absorbed this narrative. It's easy for you to follow. Maybe you're a social justice warrior. You want to be that pat on the back for doing the right thing, whatever it is that you identify with that whole narrative. I'm not going to call you an idiot. The fact that you have to call me an idiot or say I'm stupid or I'm crazy or I'm this or that because I don't believe it only shows that you don't even stand strong in what you believe. You can't even stand opposition without insulting them. I mean, Terry, that's what he said. If he was going to have his third campaign, that's how he would run it, right? The 6 families are in control, you know it. Literally everyone switched to electric cars, it would drop if everyone switched to electric cars, we would shut our electrical grid down and nobody would have power. That's what would happen. We do not have the infrastructure to even support electric cars. So you have California pushing that by 2035, they're not even going to sell gas-powered cars. By 2035, you will still not have an electrical grid that could even support that. You will have to choose, do I charge my car today or do I use air conditioning so I don't die in my house? So enjoy that. Not true, not true. Look at last summer. So evidence by the past, last summer, they were telling people you can't run your AC today because they do not have the electrical grid to support it. Evidence by the past. Give me a break, you guys. Switching from gas to electric too. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't really honestly care about the gas stove thing. I don't think that they should be able to tell people they can't have a gas stove by any stretch. However, I actually have used an electric stove more than I've used a gas stove in my life, and gas was a little bit more difficult for me because I had always used electric. But I have heard from most chefs that gas stoves are the way to go for the best in their career. So I think that's going to be a huge bummer for them. Who's giving? Yeah, on TikTok. On TikTok, I get I mean, in TikTok, I've got 300 people in here, but I've got 12 on YouTube. So in my lives on TikTok can range anywhere from 100 to 500 people. So I get a lot of trolls. I am in Florida. Solar installation is not cheap. I mean, it might be, I don't know about using coal. I thought we'd put pretty much a stop to that in most places, but it is not cheap to install. That's why not many people do it. That explains it. Well, yeah, I live in a state that tends to align with a lot of my values. Bizarre. Like, I just look at that like, if you live in a state that doesn't align with your values, you should move to a place that does, or stop bitching about it. Like, or get involved at the local level and change it. But I do like what's going on in my state. I'm more interested in the Keys, not the rest of Florida. Well, I live in the Keys, actually. California has a much better economy than Florida. That's not true at all. That maybe Gavin Newsom is telling you that, but they're in extreme debt, and that's all been since Gavin Newsom has had his reign. So the wind stops blowing too. Where? We have a surplus in Florida. We have a surplus. Our economy in Florida is doing so well. We have a surplus. You are in debt in California. I'm not good at making stuff up. It's pretty easy to look up. Let's see. I'll look it up right here. 97% of rare earth minerals come from China. A move to more solar is a move to more dependency on China. Yeah, unless we were producing them here, but then Joe Biden would probably make sure the people working in the production facility were mostly from China. Okay, California has a $31.5 billion deficit. So, yeah, that was the first one that came up. I don't assume shit and say it as fact. I just looked up and like, so that's one. The next one, let's see. Oh, another one said, this is an article saying this is how Newsom plans to offset California's deficit. And this is LA Times. This is not a right-wing newspaper. So they have a $3.1 billion deficit from a liberal newspaper. What's your daily workout? Well, today I did upper body, a little bit of lower body mixed in, and at least 30 minutes cardio. Yeah, we're definitely not in debt. We have a surplus here in Florida. What's my point? My point is somebody was trying to tell me that that California has a better economy than Florida, but we have a surplus and they have a deficit. So besides the fact that almost 1 million people moved out of California last year, and over 800,000 people moved to Florida. So not everyone is mentioned in yearly surplus or deficit. How long will I be on for? Not probably too much longer. Instead of just saying wrong, maybe give a fact that you believe to be true. Just saying wrong literally shows nothing. Like my fucking dog can do that. More people moved from Florida to Cali than Cali to Florida. That is absolutely not true. And I'm not trying to say that people moved from Cali to Florida. Most of them moved to like Texas and some of the more Midwestern states. I'm simply saying that a lot of people moved to Florida, not necessarily from California. I didn't ignore your comment because I know you're right. I didn't see your comment, but your narcissism is showing because clearly you believe that my live revolves around your comments and I must purposely be ignoring them. But sorry, bro, just didn't fucking see it. Plus, plug your real new host and free power to your home and runs everything, including AC and heat. This is Hoyne giving you some love on YouTube. Thanks, Hoyne. And your name is Dan? Well, now I know your real name. Yes, I did see that they want to do an exit tax. How did you teach your dog to say you're wrong? Why did Mexicans move out and quit their job? I don't know what you mean by that. I love your lives. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. You're doing great. Thank you. Thank you for the positivity, guys. I generally get overrun with trolls. So when I get some positive comments, I truly appreciate you all. People say some weird shit, don't they? That is facts. Facts, facts, facts. If y'all could just tap that screen for like 10 seconds, throw me up on that For You page. That would be greatly appreciated. I've got a whopping 11 people in my YouTube chat. That's why I go live on TikTok at the same time. But then I can upload this conversation to my page. Last year we had 3 consecutive weeks. Saying the planet requires all of us planting trees and gardens. Enough. It's free food. Well, I definitely am of the camp that we should be planting more trees, because the more trees that we cut down, I mean, I'm not for not taking care of our earth. I just think that the climate change agenda is a fear mongering tactic. I believe in taking care of our earth by planting trees and doing things that are going to create more oxygen, things of that nature. I think that we have destroyed a lot of our forest by building up cities and things of that nature. So yes, of course, I'm for taking care of what we have here. I'm just not going to give in to the entire fear mongering that the climate change agenda does. I care more about what's going on right now. Like, we will destroy ourselves. We are imploding. Our whole entire country is imploding from the inside out due to the polarizing topics they're shoving down our throat right now. We are going to annihilate ourselves far before the earth does. I do think about running for office. I just need a lot more time giving a crap about politics. I just started caring 3 years ago. Thanks for sharing the live. Thanks for tapping the screen. Appreciate you guys. Says 14 on here. Well, now there's 15. So, but I have so much to learn on YouTube. A lot of it has to do with probably choosing a specific time to go live regularly, and I'll start to build an audience. I randomly went live, which is what I do on TikTok, and that works on TikTok. It doesn't necessarily work on YouTube. What do you think about making lobbying illegal? I definitely think that lobbying needs to be regulated for certain. Jake, just because you disagree with what I believe, I do have a lot to learn about politics. Absolutely. And I know that because I think that we always have a lot to learn about everything and that we should never stop learning. That being said, you are generally just saying that because you disagree with me. So that's your way of saying that I'm stupid. I don't know who Dana Kirkpatrick is, so kudos to you for being willing to put yourself out there on a forum like this. We need more conservative voices. Thank you. Didn't you have a different YouTube channel name? No, I've always been called Real American Variety on YouTube. More greenhouse gases, the greener our lives are on the trees. Trees love you. Oxygen for us to breathe. Yes. Trees create oxygen. So yes, I'm all for planting more trees. Exactly, Orphan Girl. Definitely believe that. There are things that they are putting in our food that are illegal in other countries. So I did see. So I've said many times I'm an avid Michael Knowles listener. I love him. And he was talking about one of the newest studies that was talking about conservatism and how it's growing. And I believe that the conservatism is growing because of how polarizing and extreme some of the cultural narratives they're shoving down our throat right now are. And everyone's going to think immediately, oh, well, the numbers are growing because it's got to be the boomers, right? No, it's in the 18 to 28 range. They are becoming more conservative than in the past because they are saying, no way, like this is not working. Yeah, it's been doing that for years, but in the last 2 years specifically, conservatism numbers have grown, and it's been in the younger generations. What was the news source you spoke of earlier? I was in the shower. I'm not sure. I don't know what I was talking about earlier. My YouTube is Real American Variety. Let's look something up. Twenty or more previous generation. America's teenagers skew a lot more conservatives than most people. Are millennials getting more conservative? I mean, I think generally speaking, people do get more conservative with age, especially when you have a family and things like that. I prefer you on the stepper. Yeah, I get that. I always enjoy your lives while I'm working. Thank you. I appreciate that. Social conservatism is on the rise. And that's from USA Today. Social conservative is rising. The Hill. These are liberal newspapers. Social conservatism in US highest in about a decade. Since 2012, from what I understand, the statistics right now are tying with 2012. Washington, D.C., let's see. 38 say they're conservative or conservative social issues in 2023. So everybody's saying show the stats. I can't show you I can turn this and show you my computer. Let's see. So these are the stats that are changing. Very conservative is the green line, 38. This source is, let's see, Gallup polls. How tall are your ceilings? I have no idea. I don't know what this means, David Dawson, but that sounds like a super sketchy, weird threat. Yeah, so I don't know what you mean by that. Isn't more true that conservatism is on the rise, not conservatism? It is more true. Oh, militant conservatism on the rise, not conservatism. Oh, I don't, it's not differentiating in the terms. Why aren't you working out? Because I worked out at the gym today. I lifted and I do not go live when I lift. I was targeted to shut down my business, couldn't stand up and do anything. My health failed. Many people I've never seen before wanted to run my machine. I told them, hell no. Good afternoon. Cheers. Good afternoon, your boy. Who's the most attractive person in Congress? What is her name? Anna Paulina Luna is pretty dang hot. She is beautiful. I believe she's one of my Florida representatives. A lot of people think AOC. AOC is a pretty girl for sure. I think Anna Paulina Luna is prettier than AOC though. People say Lauren Boebert too, but I don't think Lauren Boebert's pretty, to be perfectly honest. Anna's a friend of yours? Well, she's doing some really good stuff. AOC has crazy eyes. I found out Marjorie Taylor Greene for some reason. I don't know what Terry's talking about in here. TikTok Live is still better. I agree. There's more action in TikTok Live. There's 16 people in here. So AOC's in the top 3. Who's the others? Dirty dive bar pretty. That's funny. What's it like to have no actual talent or personality? I mean, I don't mean to be like an a-hole here, and I'm not tooting my own horn, or maybe I am, but I didn't garner the amount of followers that I have because I have no personality. So, I mean, you may disagree with me or not like anything about me, but I didn't garner an audience for having no personality. You don't like my personality, cool, but just saying. You garner them because you got a rack. Hey, I'm sure that played a part. I'm not oblivious to that. What about guys? Who is your top? I have no idea. I don't honestly like even think about that. I can't even think if there's like there's not one politician that I find. I was saying this to my husband the other day because my husband thinks that Gavin Newsom is a silver-tongued devil and he's so attractive and that like he's gonna, because we watched the Hannity interview. Yes, I know that's Fox. We still watched it. But he's like, I'm telling you, his charisma is going to sway you. Don't let it. And I'm like, I don't even think he's attractive like at all. Like, and then I was like, Jim Jordan. I think Jim Jordan's attractive. But like, he's like, really? I'm like, I guess I'd go for more like the jock type person. He does have swagger. I guess his swagger does not do anything for me. I'm not there, Tony. I'm not there for a female president. Call me old fashioned, but I'm just not. And AOC doesn't make the cut. I plan to tell everyone exactly how to make these. Oh, I don't know what you're promoting about these free energy motors, Terry. I've only been Josh Hawley. I can't think of who Josh Hawley is. I'm not getting a mental right now. I do have the famous dress. Always looking for another opportunity to wear it. Beard it all. Yeah, I'm not a feminist. Newsom is a magician with words. I don't know though. He was doing well on that interview for the beginning, and then all of a sudden, toward the like halfway through, he was really like, and I can't stand Hannity. I'm not gonna lie. Like Hannity is one of the most annoying talking heads on any of the news stations, but he was definitely tripping him up. Sorry, I'm so late. No worries. There's not much of an audience here on YouTube. I'm actually paying more attention to my TikTok live. I like to dual cast because the comments go very slow on YouTube and people are a little quieter on YouTube. So people are very talkative and definitely like to be good, bad, and otherwise on TikTok. You're here. Missed you on ABL's live. I was on his live last night. I did not, for whatever reason, I can't even remember what Saturday night was or why I was not there. Maybe I just forgot. But I was watching last night. I don't comment a lot, though. A lot more trolls on here, Jamie, for sure. Do I ever debate with equally attractive progressive? I don't really debate. Debating is not something I'm skilled at, so I generally don't debate. I'm just on here giving my opinion. I'm not trying to say like I didn't take classes in debate. I'm not trying to be a political scholar. I'm just talking about my navigation of this world just as everybody else is navigating it as well. So I'm not trying to represent myself as someone who's looking to debate. Hi, Michelle. The last thing we need is another Marjorie Green Boebert. Yeah, Ben Shapiro is really good at debate, that's for sure. I respect your opinion. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. Schellenberger lets some interesting tidbits about Newsom. I'll have to check that out. I agree with a lot of what you say. Well, I appreciate that. Ben got bodied by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a super intelligent dude, but I think he does have some like socially liberal perspectives. I did not see that specific debate that you're talking about, but I actually would like to watch it. Shapiro's too establishment for me. It's interesting that you say that because I am starting to see, like, because I am an avid Daily Wire, like, honestly, is where I get a lot of my news. But I found myself gravitating to Michael Knowles because Michael Knowles isn't pushing like DeSantis super hard like Candace and Ben are. I feel like they kind of sold out and they're taking an establishment like perspective. So I haven't really been watching them as much lately. I love him because he's just like, I call it the way I see it. And he just says like what he's seeing rather than like, but he does say Trump's the best president of my entire, my lifetime. And he definitely, I can tell, is more in the Trump camp, but he always kind of, pushes out like whatever. And he's actually friends with Vivek in real life. Congratulations. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'm actually monetized on YouTube now. I have enough subscribers to get monetized. And considering that TikTok does not monetize me, it's what little I will make on YouTube with my small amount of followers at this point is at least something. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for that. I don't even know like what exactly that is. Is that a super chat or something? Still learning, but thank you. You just made my day. I'm not sure if I've gotten one of those yet. Maybe the other day, I think one person might have given me one as well. You watched him debate on the effectiveness of the jab 4 months ago. Yeah, that's very interesting. I would actually really like to hear. It's called the super chat. That's what I thought because I hear the other people talk them out. I am on Rumble as well, yes, but I don't have very many followers on Rumble. And I also am on Twitter. I would really like it if everyone would follow me on Twitter because if Twitter moves to having short form content, I will probably be really focusing there because there's no censorship. They haven't done that yet. He kind of said back in the day that he was going to have Vine, like bring back Vine, and he would do it before Christmas, and that did not happen. So I feel like he lied to me. Hello, Ken. Ken, I am going to reach out to you because I want you to come on my podcast with me. If I don't know if that's something you're interested in, I want to interview you. I have like specifically some LGB stuff I want to talk to you about. So I don't know if that's something that interests you, but I would like to do that. I thought of you first. You'd be so honored. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna film it through my Riverside app, and then I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube and probably Spotify as well. What's your YouTube? Real American Variety. I'm on Truth Social, yes, but I'm very bad at keeping up with Truth Social and Twitter, to be honest, because I find just tweeting and truthing to be kind of dull. I like video. I like doing this, like what I'm doing right now. So that being said, I don't. I'll go like 4 days and then go, oh shit, I should probably go on these two apps and show some sort of presence. But my Twitter handle, I believe, is Stacy's mom. You look like a Christian nationalist. Well, that's probably because I am one. What Christian? I mean, I guess I went to a Presbyterian church for a long time, but I'm actually kind of against like organized religion right now, and I'm just going to a direct line to the source because I left my church with a very bad taste in my mouth. They were starting to take on some woke policies that in my like I feel like I'm not really sure how you can be a Christian if you're taking on those policies. And because of that, I don't have a lot of desire now that we've moved to try to find another church to get organized in. I just want to go direct line to the Father. Patrick Davis is the one speaking to me. Patrick is Floridian like you. Let's see, did I miss something? Tell the truth and don't worry about it. If you offend anyone, it's their problem. Absolutely. Christians are delusional. Yeah, maybe. That's your opinion. I'm not going to try to shove it down your throat. I wish everybody would open their eyes, but I'd like everyone to be in heaven with me one day. But if you don't believe it, like, you are free to not, just as I am free too. But I do always find it very interesting that people do not believe in my faith want to try to take my faith from me. And the only way that I can try to understand that is if you're actually envious of somebody having the faith, because otherwise, whether I have faith or not doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. So for you to want to try to tear that down only shows that you must be envious of me having it. Were you all the way down, or I'm closer to Marathon? Everyone who doesn't believe in God are sad and troubled. It's weird. I mean, I find it sad and I wish that they did, but again, I'm not going to say that they're sad or weird because then, I'm insulting them, and I just don't feel like insults help anyone. Like, I make silly videos, I tell silly jokes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, when it really comes down to having conversations with people, it's not going to help when we're just calling the other side ignorant or brainwashed or this or that. It's not that I might not think those things, because sometimes I'm like, how can you not see this? But they think the same about me. But I don't think that insulting each other is the way forward. How are the fish biting down there? Actually, from what my husband tells me, I'm very, very spoiled because we always catch fish, even if they're not always keepers. He's like, not everybody fishes and always catches. So, like, you should feel really blessed by that, because I'll get really frustrated and be like, I'm not catching. I realize I don't like fishing. I like catching. And he's like, you're spoiled. Agreed, orphan girl. Atheists seem bothered by it if you believe in something. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Whereas, like, if you're an atheist, you're an atheist. It is what it is, right? Like, I'm not going to try. I mean, I would love to, like, if you want me, I'm not necessarily, evangelism is not one of my gifts for sure. But if you want to have a conversation, I'll have a conversation. I'm not going to try to shove it down your throat or change your mind. But the difference is, like, for some reason, atheists want to take your faith away from you when it shouldn't matter to them. They can believe what they want. I can believe what I want. What is what I believe hurting you? It's not. But they want to try to tear down your faith. Raging Cajun, maybe you don't, but evidenced by what I get in my live all the time when people attack, when I simply say that I have faith, the way they act, my evidence says that that's not true. But maybe you specifically don't do that. I mean, I don't disagree with that. There's definitely some sketchy AF stuff that happens in not just all religions, but all like when it comes to the kids and the trafficking, all that's happening everywhere, whether it's faith or a lot of, like, that is happening and that needs to be stopped. So yes, there is some of that going on in there. And I think that is disgusting and horrible, but that is happening outside of faith as well. So don't just pin it on the Catholics and say it's all just happening with Catholic priests and reverends and pastors and all of that. It's happening everywhere. And it's really, really horrible and sad. My faith is not interfering in your rights. You still have rights to do whatever you want. The problem is you want me to be forced to agree with all of your rights. Yeah, it's happening in Hollywood. Exactly. Hollywood is practically a freaking religion now. Atheists aren't doing it. I'm sure some of them are. Like, what an absurd thing to say. What a extremely, like, when you speak in absolutes, atheists are not. I guarantee there's plenty of atheists who are doing some sketchy AF stuff, for sure. Holly weird, I call it that as well. Evil tears down others who believe in God. Ignore the idiot. Exactly, Terry. Prove it. I don't have to prove it, bro. I'm just simply saying that there are bad people in every career, every religion, every non-religion, I guess, because atheist is lack of a religion. There, in every walk of life, there are bad, horrible people that do bad things. So you can't, I'm sorry, but like to say, oh, atheists don't do that. I guarantee there's some freaking sketchy AF atheists that do some bad stuff. Give me a break. Like when you speak in an absolute like that, you just make yourself look silly. There is lots of bad people in religion. There's lots of bad people in all walks of life. You're absolutely correct. But there's probably some bad people that are atheists as well. You know, Keith, yeah, that's not necessarily true either. It's definitely happening there too. Do I think they're all doing it? No. I do think it's bizarre that we are at a place where we think that's appropriate for kids. It's just not appropriate for kids. I don't understand, you know? They spend their time attacking Christianity. I mean, some of them do. I suppose not all of them do. I'm not there yet either. Have a great rest of your day, Bad Dad. What's up, England? Good to see you. Cross the pond. Then don't take your kids. I don't have kids. What if I did? I wouldn't take them. Would you take your kids to a strip club? The person that just made that comment. Would you take your kids to a strip club? Your TikTok has better color than your YouTube. Yeah, because my YouTube is just my like computer camera and my monitor camera, and my TikTok is my phone. So it always has better color. No one would. Exactly. So if they don't belong in the strip club, they don't belong there either. It's not it's not an assassination towards drag queens. It has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, it's inappropriate for young kids. Like, it's nothing to do with what is actually going on there. Who is, you wouldn't take them to a strip club. You shouldn't take them there either. It is a great comparison because they're doing similar things. It's literally a perfect parallel. She can't even give a speech without laughing. I know. I saw something recently. Like, she always has that crazy hyena laugh, but I saw one recently where she just got up to speak and she barely even said anything, and she just started maniacally laughing for like 15 seconds. It's just ridiculous. It's not nearly the same thing. Yeah, you just sound like somebody who's sticking up for that type of stuff. But evidence by, like, this is what I was talking about earlier in my video that I haven't uploaded yet, but what happened at the White House recently that caused a big stir, and they actually had to apologize for it because they were flashing instances. That person is an extremist that's actually dividing the community, and I think it's very sad. Jesus didn't wear a dress. That's what all men wore at those times. I mean, I guess if you want to call it that, it kind of was a very long garment that went to his feet, but they didn't call it a dress. I have been to so many drag shows. My entire 20s, every single Wednesday night I went to a drag show. To like stop acting like I'm in my 40s for living, like for God's sakes. Like I've been to plenty of them. I'm not opposed to them at all. I find them thoroughly entertaining. I just don't think they're appropriate for children. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that they shouldn't happen. They're hilarious. Well, the ones I went to were definitely 18 plus. So if there are ones that are existing that are not, I've not seen one of those. So MSRC, yeah, we've gone through different fashion places in our entire like I mean, look at the freaking 80s. Look at the 80s rock bands and 90s rock bands. Like they were very androgynous. Fashion is fashion. We've gone through many, many times where there's been some pretty androgynous fashion. I'm not talking about androgynous fashion. I'm not saying I support them. I'm saying I could give two flying FUCKs about them if they're for adults. I just don't think that kids need to be there. That's all. I just realized that I was a Republican 3 years ago. No, I do not think that men can get menstrual cramps. If you haven't been to a show that was open for everyone, then don't speak on it. It's very different. Well, Maggie, sweet love, I'm going to speak on whatever I want to speak on. I'm going to have an opinion on whatever I want to have an opinion on. It may not align with your opinion. I'm sure you speak on things that you don't have an entire education on regularly. If you don't like what I say and you disagree with me, that's cool. We live in a free country, sweetheart. But my opinion is that children don't need to be at those things. You don't have to agree with me. That's all. Don't be knocking my bell bottoms. I love me some bell bottoms. I love it when fashion comes back around. I love 60s and 70s fashion. Banning kids from Hooters. Hooters is not like the same. I don't think it's appropriate to bring your kids to Hooters personally. However, they're not strippers at Hooters. They're just wearing small outfits. You see more than that walking down the dang street. Girls wear less than they do at Hooters. So it's a little bit different, but yet again, like I don't mean to judge. I don't think that Hooters is necessarily appropriate for children, but there are people that bring their kids there. So Hooters is for beta males. That's funny. What is your opinion on biological men using women's restrooms? Honestly, I'm not going to delve into that on YouTube because that is one of the things you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. And I don't need a flag on my account right now. But I would just say the fact that I can't tell you what my opinion is should give you an idea of what I feel about it. TikTok has become the sewer. I mean, it hasn't become, it always has been. It's just that depending on your algorithm, you don't see it all the time. But there's plenty of people sit on the conservative side, there's plenty of people on the liberal side. Exactly. Hooters is a restaurant. They do not hold shows. They're simply waitresses wearing skimpy outfits. How's Chad? Hopefully he's working. Hope he's bringing home that bacon to someone. So being on TikTok in a skimpy bikini is okay for kids to just look at that Hooters is just too much. Is okay for kids to look at. I don't know exactly what you're trying to say, but from what I understand when I watched all those hearings, is that kids shouldn't see some of that stuff. And if parents were doing their job as parents and they were policing what their children were looking at, then they would be making sure that they're not seeing that stuff, or they should keep their kids from having TikTok. But TikTok's algorithms at this point should be able to keep children from seeing that type of stuff. If they can flag a video the second that you say something that they don't like, you can't tell me that their algorithms aren't smart enough to keep kids from seeing inappropriate content. The problem is they want kids to see this content. Social media is used very, very negatively. Parents, it's sad anymore in this world. That's right, exactly. I think parents, like, at this point, like, and I don't have children, so I'm saying this from a place where people are going to go, you don't have kids, so you don't have the right to speak on this. I can still have an opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. But there, a lot of babysitting is being done by iPads and television and all of these things, and they're not policing what their kids are looking at. Do your dang job as a parent, and make sure your kids are not seeing inappropriate stuff. You can't go, oh my God, I can't believe that girl is putting inappropriate content on TikTok. Well, do your damn job as a parent and make sure he doesn't see it. Educate, not indoctrinate. Agreed. I don't think a person in drag is inappropriate. I just don't think a drag show is appropriate for kids. I don't care about drag shows. No, like nobody cared about drag shows until 3 years ago when all of a sudden they wanted them in elementary school. Nobody cared. Drag shows are fun. Like I've been to numerous drag shows in my lifetime. They're hilarious. The problem became like when nobody cared about them whatsoever at all until they started wanting to do story hour and such. Then people were like, well, that's bizarre. Why? What made me become a conservative? COVID. It didn't make me become a conservative. I think I most likely was a conservative 10 years ago when I got married and started care. I became a Christian and I got sober. That was like a lot of my values changed because those three things were the perfect storm of complete change in my life. That being said, I didn't realize I cared about politics at all whatsoever, or actually was a conservative until 2020. When I said, these are my values, which party do they align with? And then I realized, oh, I align more with the conservative party. James, I definitely don't tell jokes in my live because I can never remember jokes. I never thought I would become famous on TikTok for telling jokes, and now I don't even do that much anymore because they don't promote my jokes at all. So I've kind of gotten away from doing that, but stop using ad homonym for everything. What's up, Alabama? Yes, Meg. This is the first time in my entire life where politics have ingrained themselves in just everyday life. People that never cared about politics at all of a sudden do because they have just it used to be downstream from culture. That's what they used to say, but it just seems like it's almost parallel with culture at this point. I mean, should we have stripper story hour? Do I like Japanese cuisine? I absolutely do. Sushi is probably my favorite thing in the world and the thing that I miss the most because we live in the Keys. And although, like, we have the most fresh fish everywhere, at every turn, at every restaurant, there is not an amazing Japanese restaurant here. And it's very sad for us. It's true, Tony. If not for TikTok, I would not have met you either. That's the one positive thing that social media has done. Oh no, I know. Oh no is correct. Start a sushi bar. We have talked about it. I was like, I want karaoke at I want like a karaoke machine in the corner of the room where you can just go up and you can pick it kind of online, like Carafun or something like that. So there's literally anyone can go do karaoke at any time because you don't need a person manning it. And then sushi. That would be my favorite. Like that would be like what I would want to do for a sushi restaurant. The Mid-American sushi. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like gas station sushi. You're deaf. It's like a huge, 50-50 that you're going to get sick. When you live in like middle America and it's a sushi restaurant, I'm not sure I like think it's going to be super fresh. Thanks, Jeff. It's full of fun and cool people. Now it's so toxic. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. A lot of people, even in the community has become very severed, which is really sad. I'm wanting to make my own sushi. Yeah, me too, actually. We had bought the kit at one point and just never did it. So I also want to. I think the hardest part is making the rice, to be perfectly honest. You need the perfect rice. What's that red hat say? Oops. This is my big hat. It's my big Make America Great hat. I just knocked all my stuff off of here. Love your hat. Thank you. Political. If you guys like, they actually have a thing you can buy, like things like this. They have those funny projective things that can project in your toilet. They have a lot of funny things. Who doesn't want to make America great as Americans? Agreed. I do not understand how they can possibly paint the movement negatively. Like, what is so negative about wanting our country to be great? It's baffling to me. But they've somehow found a way to paint us as these. So I don't know. I think I talked about this maybe earlier, but I probably have a new group of people. But I went to Miami to support President Trump. And I think that one of the most amazing parts was that I saw these 2 or 3 people that were together and they were in like their 60s and they were clearly the opposition. And I said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And I was like, "So you all are here." Like they tend to paint us Trumpers as these horribly violent, negative people, but you don't look like you really fear being here. You don't look like you're worried that we're going to turn violent or anything. He's like, "No, not at all." And I was like, "Okay, that's very interesting." And he's like, "Yeah, especially the South Florida version. You guys just care about sun and fun." And they're all smiles and we had a great conversation, but they had a sign that said like, "Lock him up, jail Trump," and like all the things they hated about Donald Trump. But we had a really great conversation. And then when they were leaving, like later, it was like 30 or 40 minutes later, he walked by and he's like, "There's no violence here, so we're out." And then he just smiled and winked at me. So it's like nobody was worried about it turning dirty and ugly, even the opposition. So we're worried about the country. I guess now wearing headphones and having a microphone means that I'm full of myself. That's a trolling comment. Like really use your last 2 brain cells to spout that out. Like where did you even come up with that? Because this makes my audio better on my YouTube channel. I'm somehow full of myself. Wow. Just wow. I mean, that's new. I got to hand it to you. That's at least a new like reach. Trump needs to go on a boat rally. Did you guys fly a Let's Go Brandon flag? No, I actually made a ton of signs. I spent all afternoon making signs, and that's why we must have been interviewed like 25 times because my signs were so popular. It doesn't mean someone's full of themselves if they're using headphones and a microphone. Exactly. But I'm just what I'm saying. It's like quite a reach. But people will reach for anything when they're a human being that puts others down to feel better about themselves. Like, God forbid you work on yourself and build yourself from the inside out. But when you feel the need to go on social media and tear another person down to try to make yourself feel better, it's a very sad place to be. I actually have compassion for those people. Like, you must be dead inside if you feel the need to do that. Key Largo in the house. Hey, girl, God bless you. God bless you as well, Kevin. Saw a video of Biden last night. I don't think he has long. He had a look. The eyes tell it all. Well, that's really sad. I don't wish anything like that on anybody. I don't like the dude, but I'm sure that being president ages you as well. And this has not been easy on a man who's going downhill fast. Winter Haven in the house. What do you think about the people who stormed the Capitol building? I think that was stupid. I wish it didn't happen. It was definitely a stain on the movement for sure. But I also, think that it was not just Trumpers. So I'm not going to talk about abortion anymore. I am pro-life. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm so over the tired, like the abortion talk, but I am definitely pro-life. I mean, one could argue that Joe is a treasonous traitor as well. So yeah, it's cool that you believe that because I support Donald Trump that I'm a treasonous traitor. But there are many people that are seeing what's going on in the Biden family right now, and we're looking at him as kind of a treasonous traitor as well. So it really just depends on which side of the aisle you're on. No matter which side you're on, the other side thinks you're supporting a treasonous traitor. So exactly, Terry. That is so true. You are literally crazy. But you said Biden family. Yeah. Not forced, don't get pregnant. Exactly. Exactly. When you have sex, there are consequences. Everyone smash the like icon. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, right now there's 23 people. That's actually the largest group that I've had, 25 people in YouTube, whereas I've got 350 in TikTok. So that's why I'm paying more attention to TikTok. It's not that I don't love you guys. I'm just trying to build a following here on YouTube, and I generally have a larger group on my TikTok, and they're very vocal, and I like responding to the comments. So I'm trying to respond to the comments over here as well. There's just not as many. So if you're seeing me look over here, it's because I'm responding to my TikTok comments, because there is a plethora of negativity and positivity over here. Kevin McCarthy is president. No freaking thank you. Thanks, Lego Loco. What's up, New Zealand? Do you belong to any local patriotic groups and speak politics? Yes, I am a member of my Conservative Keys and my local REC. And that's, for the most part, what I've been doing more recently. New York City, hello. Sending love right back at you. Kevin McCarthy is from my district. He's good, but not president material. I mean, I'm sure that's where he's hoping it's going to go with the speakership, not certainly in 24, but I'm sure he's hoping that it will lead him to that. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate you. You're always positive, and I really appreciate that. Am I a Democrat? You clearly have not seen my content. Stick around a few minutes. I think you'll quickly get your answer. Tell YouTube that if they want to see the most juvenile comments, hop on over here to TikTok. Yeah, my YouTube is very kind. But I just noticed I'm going really slow. Something weird is happening on YouTube. It's like I'm lagging or something. What's up, Detroit? I'm not going to answer that, Worm Dirt. I do have one, but I'm not going to get into that conversation because I feel like it could get me in trouble. No, I do not like Chris Christie. I think he's flipping annoying. And I find it bizarre that he was like totally pro Trump until like 2020. And now he's taking the most anti Trump approach. That's like literally what he's running on, is being like just opposing Trump at every turn. The weather is beautiful here. It's very, very warm. You're in Anna's district? That's awesome. I really want to meet her. We're having an event here on the 28th. Matt Gaetz is coming to speak for our Conservative Keys group. I think it's the Middle Keys group, maybe the Big Pine group. I don't know. I'm a member of a couple of them, so I can't remember which one is actually hosting him, but that's going to be really interesting as well. And I know he and Anna Paulina Luna are pretty aligned on a lot of things. Mainstream media is being used to definitely divide us for certain, and they are forcing people to pick a side for sure. There's a lot of propaganda. It doesn't matter which network you watch. Why did the GOP investigate Hunter when they had Congress? I have no idea, Chip. Can't wait for the end of July so we can come down for mini season. Yeah, I've not actually dived for lobsters yet. We do have our license to do that, but we versus our fishing license, we bought the one that is all encompassing, but I have not done that yet. I don't know if they're more divisive, but I feel like they're more truth, more honest, not just spitting a specific narrative. Independent journalism is the only journalism that I feel like is actually telling the truth at this point. They're not bought and paid for. But that's just my opinion. I am on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm in Florida. Ha ha ha, Florida. I'm not sure why that's funny, but glad I made you laugh. I have not gotten into scuba diving. I'm not really a water person, to be perfectly honest. I don't love being wet. It's not anything to do with what's in the ocean. I'm not scared of the creatures. I actually love the creatures. It's just that I don't love being wet and I have a slight fear of drowning. Maybe it's because I'm not like the strongest swimmer in the world. But I do want to learn to dive because I think I would actually really enjoy that. Don, you have some deep-seated anger, bro. I would look at that. Clearly, you and I are on the very opposite ends of the spectrum, but I don't really understand the reason that people feel that they would need to insult people to that level. '92 in Cape Coral. Yeah, I don't even know what it is outside, but I do know that when I got in my car yesterday, it was 111 degrees. Not outside, but in my car immediately. It was like 93 or something. I'm diving with two-way radio. That's awesome. Yeah, Jupiter. It's even hotter in Jupiter. Do I think the 17 audio recordings really exist, and do you think they will actually do something? I'm not. I do think they really exist. Whether we get our hands on them and they're not actually destroyed or something like that is a different story. It sounds like they're more talking about them, like they think that they do exist. But I would like some proof that they exist rather than just talking about the fact that they exist. So do I believe that we can get our hands on them with a weaponized DOJ? Not really sure I truly believe that we will get our hands on them. My husband and I own businesses in the South Florida area, but now he's kind of turned his sights on. We do a lot of house flipping. He has a really great crew of people. He kind of runs the whole thing, so he doesn't hire contractors. He gets right out there and works with them. And that's been really lucrative for us. We started that in 2020. I'm actually just, I guess, what you'd call a trad wife now. That's the new term for being traditional wife. I no longer work. I stay home. I'm kind of doing this now that I'm finally monetized on YouTube. Not making much money right now, but I will be contributing in some way. But otherwise, I just take care of him. Yeah, domestic engineer. I guess that's the new term. I wish you could share the other comments. I wish I could too. See a country hated the way it is. The kids nowadays are being taught exactly. Well, that's part of the problem. They're not teaching any sort of patriotism, and in fact, they're teaching the exact opposite in school. So it's making these kids grow up, and then we wonder why, like numbers when it comes to like the Army and Marines, Navy are down. They can't meet their quotas because these kids are not they're not learning patriotism and they don't feel like this is a country worth fighting for. That coupled with even the wokeism kind of entering the military and some people just not wanting to be part of that, or whether it's the vaccination, which I'm not sure if they're still forcing the military. I thought that some they had actually stopped that, but I'm not really sure. If I don't want to speak on that because I'm not positive. It depends on what you're looking for in Florida. If you're looking for a big nightlife, you probably want like a city or something like that. I think where we just moved from is great, but it's very liberal. Delray Beach is a super cute town. There's a big nightlife. They have great restaurants. It's an amazing place. It just got a little bit too liberal for us. We moved to the Keys so we could fish, and my house hit my husband's house flipping business was really he was concentrating here and he was traveling here a lot, so now we're just closer to what we were doing. You don't know what all schools are teaching or not. Now that's true. I don't know what all schools are teaching, but there's been a lot of schools that have been exposed for teaching certain things. If the tapes were not real, if the tapes were real, we would have already heard them by now. Well, no, I think some of that's going to be tied up in red tape. However, I do believe that I do believe they're real. Whether we can get our hands on them or not, I'm not sure I fully believe. You're not very smart. Well, I hope that you feel like a bigger human being by putting me down. I actually find it very, very sad that people that feel the need to go on social media and put others down to feel like a better person. I don't feel the need to insult just because we disagree. Nice building permits in the Keys. I heard no more in 2023. Yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs of building permits in the Keys, so I can't really talk on that. I would say someone said that's how the left is almost always. Yeah, I don't like to speak in absolutes, and certainly not everybody is like that, but there's a lot of it on the right as well. So let's stop pretending that we're perfect over here. I've been in many liberal lives and seen very similar comments coming from my side. So I just feel like it's not helping anyone out by being so insulting to the other side. And it's not that I don't think those things, because I most likely think those things. I most likely say them to my husband. I just don't think that it is going to help uh, us unite in any way, shape, or form, if that's even possible, by continuing to insult each other. Thank you, Les, with the super chat. I'm really like this is very, very new to me, so thank you so much. You're only my third super chat ever, So I appreciate you. More, yeah, harder, more expensive process. The Keys disease is the best to catch. Yeah, that's what we hear. I mean, we definitely got it because we just came here to visit in 2020 because of everything that was going on where we lived. And my husband, we were both like, okay, we're moving there. It's just such a carefree lifestyle here. People are so much kinder. I lived in Delray Beach, which was a very like liberal city, and coronavirus was very dividing in that city. And here, I'm just not feeling that. My life is crazy. I like your style. Thanks, Les. You made my day, and I appreciate you. Have I read the indictment? I have not. Oh, you were talking to somebody else. I was going to say, I have not read the entire indictment. I definitely should sit down and actually read it. I know there's 37 counts and blah, 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 but I haven't actually read it, the entire thing. Who would ever want to unite with mega people like you? I mean, the problem is that you guys don't like when it really comes down to it. For the most part, like whether it's the government or the media, they're using polarizing topics to make us look so divided that we can never come together. But we actually probably think pretty similarly on like 80% of the issues. There's just the big polarizing topics, whether it's the gender, the abortion, the border security, what's the other biggest ones that are I guess those are some of the bigger ones, but those things are so polarizing right now, specifically in our environment, that we think there's no way to actually reach across the aisle. Gun control, thank you, that was the last one I was trying to find. But we actually on 80% of the issues, for the majority of us, for the most part, agree on a lot of things. There might be little things that we sit a little bit differently or further apart, but we could reach across and actually unify on. The problem is they're using these like polarizing things to divide us so much that we think there's no way to actually unite, and I don't believe that. No, nobody cares about people living their lives. It wasn't an issue until all of a sudden it involved the children or forcing people to believe in an ideology that they just weren't willing to subscribe to. Like, you can't force people to be complicit in what they believe to be a lie. By the way, Crazy Karen in the blonde wig is the funniest bitch you do. Please do more of those. Just out of curiosity, do you actually know anybody in your neighborhood that pretends to be in the HOA? No. It's all just a joke, you guys. There's stories that we hear and we do reenactments of. Some of them we make up, but for the most part, I just go online and I find Crazy Karen stories, and then we kind of do them with our own take. But for the most part, like this, they're based on true stories. Can we go back to talking about Hooters? I find them very fascinating. I like you, but your gender comment was out of line. Not really. It's not really out of line. It's just that you disagree with me. I'm okay with the fact that you have a different ideology. What I don't understand is that we've come to a place where when opposing ideologies is now considered like words are now violence. Like, I don't care if you disagree with me, but you have to point out what you said is out of line. No, what I said is what people have believed for many, 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 many years. What you believe is a newer ideology. I've just not subscribed to it yet because I'm gonna, I continue to believe what people have believed for years. You said they're giving. They are. I didn't say that today, though, so you must be alluding to a different time. They have every right to live their life as they want to. Nobody's trying to stop anyone from living their life the way they want. But it's just like we have age limits for buying alcohol or enlisting in the military or watching a freaking movie, for goodness sakes. There's ratings on a movie. There are certain things that people believe children shouldn't be making decisions yet because children don't really even know what they want for breakfast most times. I mean, kids think they're going to be an astronaut, kids think they're all kinds of things, and then they grow out of that. We're simply just saying let's wait till a certain age to let children make these decisions that can change their entire life. That's all. But when you're an adult, by all means, live your life however you want. Karen's in a gender. Take the flags down, take the speeches out of the morning announcements. Hello, my fellow deplorables. What's up, Elevator Dave? Kids want to be dinosaurs. Exactly. I don't disagree with that, Dean. I'm not disagreeing with that. But being gay doesn't change things about your life. Like, it's a little bit different when you're talking about gay versus the trans movement. Like, I actually feel like I don't understand like why gay people are not seeing like some of these kids, they might just be gay, but because they're like, oh, well, now there's this new option to say, oh, well, maybe I'm not gay. I'm just trapped in the wrong body. Like, what happened to just being gay? Like, I don't get it. Why do gay people not look at this as an attack on their community as well? Because they're pushing it to the forefront now. Yeah. Some do. I know some do because I follow and I a lot of those people, so I know that some of them do. There are still some schools that still do the Pledge of Allegiance, but definitely less than there used to be. All right, what time is it, guys? It is 4 o'clock. I'm. This is such a great live. I mean, there's trolls obviously, but that I haven't wanted to end the live, but I really do need to go get dinner started because I'm a trad wife and that's what I do. I clean my house and I cook and do all those traditional things. So I definitely need to jump off of line here and get doing those things. You're a strong lady. I try. I'm a domestic engineer. Exactly. I will say goodbye to my YouTube family first because I feel like I'm lagging unless YouTube does some weird thing where like something you said put you on a lag or put you on a few second delay so that they can bleep you out. So I feel like maybe I triggered something in the algorithm, but I tried to avoid all the things that you're not allowed to talk about on YouTube. But it seems that maybe I did not because I've been on this weird like 2 second delay. Much love. See you on the reef. Maybe. So, anyways, I'm going to say bye to y'all and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. Even though it was a small group, it was the best group. And I appreciate you guys. I will see you when I see you. I am still waiting for you guys to tell me the time that I should go live like every single week. And I will have like a 1 hour show type thing. And when I get a little more feedback on that, I'm going to do the same time every week. And that way I'll start to build a little bit of a bigger group on here. But thanks, guys. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate that. Super kind. I'm going to click out of here on YouTube and then talk to my TikTok peeps for a sec. But you guys stay free, stay blessed, and I will see you on the flip side.